Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics and Random. Berto Will is your host, and I can't hear anything, so maybe we are on, maybe we're off. Are we good? All right, I guess I have some interesting issues with the microphones today. We are going to have a great show for you guys today, folks. Go ahead.
Well, my name's Maria T. Jackson, as you said. Me llamo Maria Teresa Jackson.
Ah, y hablas español también.
Poquito.
Está bien eso, pues.
So I was elected in 2008, and so I was the mentor to the Black Girl Magic. I was elected before the Black Girl Magic happened.
I know. You were like the genesis of the whole thing.
Yes.
So tell me more.
Well, I served as a felony court judge for 11 years. Before that, I was appointed by Mayor Brown as a parking judge, and then Mayor White as a full-time municipal court judge. And in 2008, I was elected to preside over serious felony offenses.
Now, interestingly, you decided to leave the bench. I mean, there are not many people, Maria, who say, I am going to decide I have a secure several more years to go on my term, and I'm going to just give it up to go for something else because I want to do something important for my community. Tell me a little about that.
Well, since my cousin, Commissioner El Franco Lee, died. It's been,
El Franco Lee was your cousin?
Yes, he was.
I didn't know that. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. I started looking around and seeing that Harris County was going backwards.
Right.
And you're absolutely right. I did have a safe seat. I was the longest serving felony court judge in Harris County. And I was also the administrative judge over all the felony courts. And I just got a raise, too.
So you gave up some money,
I
too?
gave up the money because, as I stated, I started looking, and Harris County is going backwards.
Right.
FBI statistics show that violent crime has risen in the last 3 years. And I started going to visit people in different neighborhoods. And it was a travesty that I saw an 80-year-old couple that had a porta potty in their backyard since Hurricane Harvey.
No.
And they wrote this current commissioner.
Yeah. And
he failed to respond. And
what do you mean by he failed to respond?
He did not respond.
Yeah.
They got a work order, and it was as if he did not care. And I looked at the ditch, P125, and it hasn't been cleaned in years. And a lot of these neighborhoods that flood is because of the ditches that have their drainage has not been cleaned. It's illegal dumping has happened.
Right.
And I said, wow. I said, that is not. So I had a choice to either keep making my money and act like I didn't see anything, or I could step down from the bench so I could step up and speak out for the community. And I chose the latter.
I'm going to tell you something, Maria, because a lot of people, you know, they look at that type of altruism as something that just a few do. But I know so many people out there that try to engage in the body politic and want to do good, but there's so much staying power with incumbency. There's so many people that are out there that think they own a particular seat. And at that point, when you believe that, you don't have to worry about a woman with a porta potty in the backyard. You don't have to worry about ditches in your community not being changed when ditches in Precinct 4 or other precincts get the requisite work done, cement where it needs to be, other things fixed that need to be. So what I want to do is, because here's the funny thing about it. Americans know what senators do. Americans know what the president does. Americans know what their congresspersons are supposed to do. But the one thing that they should know is something that is much closer to them, and generally they just let that be. Why don't you explain to us what is the job of a commissioner in a particular precinct?
Okay, I'm running for Harris County Commissioner Precinct 1, and the Commissioner's Court consists of 4 county commissioners, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and a county judge.
Right.
And what the commissioners oversee, each commissioner oversees the budgets in their precinct, and they set taxes. They're responsible for building roads, county roads, and bridges, and parks. They could set taxes. They set the budgets for their precincts, any of the county buildings.
Right.
And basically, a commissioner is
So
like
that,
the mayor.
the mayor of that little section of the county.
Yes, but Precinct 1 has 1 million residents.
Right.
And
1 million.
1 million.
Is it the largest precinct? Or are they co-equal, about co-equal?
They may be co-equal
at the time of formation.
but we're in Precinct 1 now.
Yeah.
Precinct
Okay.
1 covers all of downtown, Montrose area, Atascocita, Humboldt,
Got
Lake
it.
Houston, all the way to Nassau Road.
1, yeah.
Yes, Nassau Road 1.
Okay. Now, when the money is apportioned, all precincts get the same amount of money? Is it based on property taxes in that area or whatever? And the reason I'm asking you this, Maria, is because I can drive through town or subdivision over subdivision, and you can specifically see a change in the type of drainage you have. You can see a change in the type of roads you have and all of that. And we can always get a good feeling of what the people will look like in particular neighborhoods with particular types of drainage. Is there a difference in the way these monies are apportioned? Why is that the case?
There's not a difference in the way the money's apportioned, but there is a difference in the way each commissioner spends their money.
Okay.
And Precinct 1 and Precinct 2 have the most economically disadvantaged residents. And I looked at the budget, and Precinct 2, 3, and 4 invested in their precincts, and Precinct 1 commissioner did not.
Where did that money go?
To build, the bike trails? To build bike trails. That's what he likes to do. And a lot of people are thinking, well, why is all this money being spent on building bike trails when we need sidewalks in our neighborhoods? We need drainage.
That is you bring up an interesting point. By the way, I like cycling too, but I wouldn't take cycling over having
safe
sidewalks for my children. I definitely wouldn't do that.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about then when you talk about building these kinds of bike trails or whatever. We know that a lot of things known as what is it called? What is it called when you bring you change the neighborhood? Are
you talking about gentrification?
Gentrification. Was that would that be a gentrification move to create bike rails so that it'll entertain the possibility of gentrification? I'm just looking for a reason why a commissioner would choose bike trails that most people in the particular district won't use over sidewalks.
I can't speak to that part of gentrification because I'd have to research more on that.
Right.
I know how gentrification starts. It starts with them raising your taxes. So finally your taxes are so high you can't afford it.
You got to get out of Dodge.
And but you asked me something else.
Yeah, well, what I really wanted to know specifically is why when, you make a valid point. There are kids. We know a lot of these neighborhoods don't have sidewalks. The kids have to walk on the streets next to the ditches. We know that. And my question again is, go ahead.
Matt, okay, so 2009, when I took the bench, there was a couple. It was a mother, son, and daughter, 6-year-old little girl.
Right.
They were walking home from school in Acres Homes. And there was a drunk driver who was on probation. And he only had 2 months left before he completed his probation, but he decided to go celebrate. And they were walking in the street because they didn't have any sidewalks. And he ran over and killed this 6-year-old little girl. And so when you see cases like that, like I have, the majority of the people see only news stories that are sensationalized,
and it lasts
or
5 minutes or
right.
2 minutes. Yeah.
They last every 2 minutes. So multiply that. I saw about 60 to 80 cases like that per day.
Per day?
Per day for 11 years. Yes.
Per day?
Per day.
And that is because lack of?
No, I'm saying violent crimes,
right.
or DWI crimes.
Okay, got it.
I'm just talking about crimes in general.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's a lot.
Yes. I've presided over 75,000 cases during my tenure.
Wow. That's okay. Well, so you decided after you left the bench voluntarily, after getting a raise, doing the altruistic thing, you want to see your community in a much better situation than it's in right now. What's the point that you're going to tell people that you want to use? I mean, you are talking about going against a very, very powerful incumbent that even the news media at times are scared to tackle.
Yes, and that is correct.
Because we know of a story that just, I mean, I just saw this story on TV about warehouses and things, and I'm like, wow, that's going to explode into a big story. I wonder what's happening. And then the story disappeared.
It is so crazy. You're so right. This man is a multimillionaire, and he's been in politics for 36 years, Rodney Ellis.
Mm-hmm.
And at every level.
And by the way, I did send an email to Rodney Ellis because, one of the things that we have to do, FCC kind of rules, is that we have to give everybody the opportunity to come. But of course, I don't get a response, but go ahead.
Okay. So I was in his precinct when he was city council.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in his district when he was state senator.
Right.
And now I'm in precinct 1. And what I've seen him do is profit at every level of government that he served, including receiving money from Union Pacific and CSX. Those are the railroads that
are infecting the
creosote,
cancer alley. Yes.
the cancer cluster.
Yes.
In the minority neighborhoods.
Has he made any comments on that issue?
No, he has not made a comment about that. And so I just started, like I said, looking around, and really I was kind of hoping somebody else would run so I could sit it out, make my money. But I mean, it comes a time as a public servant, am I my brother's keeper? And yes, I am.
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am. And that's one of the reasons.
That is something that people don't, I mean, we've not made that vogue anymore. I remember when a few years ago, Hillary Clinton started talking a little bit about, am I my brother's keeper? And she said, we had to be that. And some people actually made fun of that. No, we are our brother's keeper. And what you're doing is something that if anybody feels that their current politician is not doing the job that requisite for the neighborhood, for the district or whatever, and you can run
for the community.
You should. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I mean that statement about brother's keeper really hits me because I do believe we are our brother's keepers.
I know, that's why I'm a fan of yours, because you care. You care about people. That's why you do what you do.
You have to care. You have. I mean, there's no fun in being somewhere and watching other people. I don't get it. I just don't get it, But anyway, so it's great that you saw a need to run. So what are you, I mean, one of the things that we always say is, okay, everybody, you're going to go out there and you're going to run. What are you going to tell? Because again, you have a hell of a job ahead of you.
I do.
Okay.
And I'll tell you that running against a multimillionaire, it's been very, very hard. It's not fun. But I also know that a lot of people have come to me. They see a sense of hope.
Right.
And because I feel like we've been living under this dark cloud,
right.
And a lot of other people have shared that with me. And, in the late 80s and early 90s,
right.
I taught in Sunnyside. I
right.
taught at-risk youth, the kids that were kicked out of school, the hardest to serve.
Right.
I took them in and loved them and educated them and placed them on jobs.
Right.
They're productive citizens in the community
Today, yeah.
And I took those skills to the bench.
Right.
And so that's how I've always been.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm a doer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not much of a talker. I don't photograph
All the
everywhere
time,
I
right.
go and say, hey, look. So what I want to do,
Mm-hmm.
I want to invest in the community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have big, beautiful buildings downtown, the Galleria and the medical center area. But when is the last time people have invested, elected officials have invested in people?
Right.
And that's what I want to do.
I love hearing that. You know, there are times that we are talking economics here on my show, and somebody, whenever I talk about programs that help people, social programs or whatever, they called me all the isms, right? And what I point out is what they're defending. They're like, look at what we've done. We've built all those buildings downtown. We have the medical center and we have that. And I'm like, how many of you can go into them?
Right.
You have so much pride in things you will never be able to use. While if we just invested those things into people, look at how much more those people would build. They may not build a skyscraper, but they'll build a community.
Yes. During my journey,
Mm-hmm.
I've been in the community, not as a politician,
Right.
but
In the
as
community.
a teacher,
Right.
a municipal bond attorney, and as a judge.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen so many good programs. I know that we had a really good program. I know that when you start investing in kids at an early age,
Mm-hmm.
you give them provide them a different environment and give them hope
Mm-hmm.
and love, and you give them the proper educational tools and give them, they can do anything.
Right.
And that's what it's about. It's about building and investing in our youth.
Exactly.
Also, the seniors. The seniors paved the way for us.
Right.
My cousin, Commissioner Franco Lee, started a lot of senior programs.
I remember that.
Yes. And so I know that this current commissioner has been cutting back on those programs. I want to continue the legacy of investing in the senior programs as well. And I want to complete the legacy and do more.
Mm-hmm.
I want to invest in businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Businesses and prosperity.
Small
Don't we
business.
deserve better?
Yes, we do. And finding a way to make sure that small businesses can actually thrive and not necessarily giving all the tax breaks to big corporations who are
Don't really need it.
they don't need it. And actually, well, I won't go there because you're a politician and I wouldn't want to taint your assent with some of the things that I say. But anyhow, let me say, I think it is important what you're doing. Now, like I said before, you have a huge task ahead of you. My question to you is, how do you overcome that? If we have an audience here. I believe in geometric progression. The only way I think the underdog makes it is if they get enough popular support, enough people believing in their dream, in the dream that you have for them, to say, I am going to be able to overcome what money is going to do. What is Maria T. Jackson going to do to overcome that? Because let's be realistic. You are going to the polls today. No, Mr. Host here can't tell you at all whatever to do, but I can tell you what I've always told the candidates is not the candidates, but the audience is to forget about money, vote your heart, vote for those people you think are actually working for you, not the status quo, not the Bloombergs and that are out there attempting to buy your vote, to buy the politicians like he has already bought so many.
Yes.
I find it amazing that he's bought so many politicians thus far. So again, Maria, what do you communicate to our audience, our grassroots audience, that they can do for the underdog to ensure that we even a playing field?
So I would ask you to look around your neighborhood, and if you've had the same career politician over 30 years and you don't see any improvement in your neighborhood, it's time to do something different. I stepped off the bench so I could step up for our community.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not about me.
Right.
It's about all of us. I was raised that when I come up, you reach back and you bring others up with
Right.
you. Not when you arrive, you close the door or raise the ladder. So I don't even call myself a politician. I call
Right.
myself a public servant.
Right.
And that's why I'm doing this, because we deserve better. I've been at every stage. I have been
A
a
teacher?
single, yes, yes, but I was also as a teacher. I was a single mom, and I don't want to tell everything. I mean,
Right.
I've been through domestic
Right.
violence. I have been at every level.
Right.
I know what it's like to, have the door closed on you because you don't have the proper credit to get a loan, to start a business, or to get help. It's always the people that really don't need the help. They throw money at you.
Right. Right.
And I've seen so many small businesses, because we were a small business
Right.
as well. My dad started the business, our school.
Mm-hmm.
And we needed help, but we couldn't get the support. So we relied on the community, and the community supported us because our programs were so great. And we worked our butts off. And we produced so many productive citizens that we grew $150,000 school a year into $1 million schools,
Right.
charter schools.
Right,
and
right.
we were located in Houston and in Fort Worth.
Mm-hmm.
And we were one of the first black charter schools, too.
Didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah, well, learned so much. But I tell you, one of the things that one of the reasons I definitely wanted to talk to you is anybody who steps off the bench, anybody who shows that kind of passion for real community, and I'll be honest, I don't see that a lot anymore. I see calculating politicians. I watch from the top that we're watching right now with the presidential candidates right down to the community that I'm seeing right now. And that's why I'm so happy that in Harris County right now we have a hell of a grassroots movement going on. I am hoping, well, I'm not hoping, I am part of working towards making that a reality, that we bring some of these grassroots people who really want to work for community and not first asking the corporation for permission to do what they need to do, or first wanting to make sure that they are economically solvent before they do anything for anybody else. I mean, I think that is so important.
It is. It's what you said earlier, that some people, politicians, they're in position for so long that they forget that they're actually supposed to serve us,
Right.
the community.
Right.
They do. They believe that they own the seats,
Right.
and that they answer to no one. And as a matter of fact, I know you saw the breaking news story, where Rodney Ellis has been housing in a county facility on Reed Road, multi-million-dollar worth of African art.
I mean, I think I'll be frank with you. I hadn't followed the entire story, but I think that is important enough. That is actual news.
Yes, it is.
Exactly what happened.
Well, they got a tip, and they went and they see all this art. So I can't talk about it too much because I know that there's an
investigation.
I believe
Yeah.
there are some investigations going on, and I'm glad, because this kind of corruption, it needs to be stopped. And a lot of people, I mean, if you really knew the bullying and the threats that I have gone through,
I can imagine.
my supporters have gone through. I mean, I have seen some people that I thought were my friends be bought off. I mean,
Well, Maria, let me tell you, if several mayors from around the country were willing to accept what is going on with what's his name, Bloomberg, why do you think the same wouldn't happen to you, Maria?
oh, that's what's happening right now.
I mean, the thing about it is, and look, we had a sweep in commissioners. Well, we had a good run in commissioners court when we got Hidalgo onto the court. The grassroots performed, and you can rest assured that there are many, many, many folks out there that are hoping that performance of the grassroots doesn't continue, because if that happens, we are going to really get a lot of representatives
Yes.
of the people
Yes.
in there. And I don't know that folks know exactly where the electorate is. You may have a solid 30% of the base that's all for you. But what happens when that person wakes up in the morning, like you said, and say, I've been living in this situation for the last 30 years. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again,
Yes.
and expecting a different result. How do you intend to get coverage into home number 1 through home number 1 million?
That's good. Well, I am raising money. This is, as you said, this is a grassroots campaign. I know in my heart that there are more good people out here than bad people.
Right.
And I know a lot of bad people stay elected because not enough good people go out and say, we're not going to take it anymore. I want to do something different. Your vote counts.
Yes.
Everybody has a right to vote. And you don't have to share with anyone how you voted, but just like you just stated it. Egberto.
Así.
Experto.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like you stated earlier. If you don't vote, you don't have a voice.
Right.
And if you're tired of the same thing and you're thinking you've been beaten down and nothing's ever going to change, well, here is change. Change just stepped off the bench so I could represent the people. That's the reason why I'm doing this. This was placed on my heart to do it, and that's what I want to do. I want to serve you. And I would say spread the word, donate. My website is mariatjacksonforcommissioner.com.
Okay, but before you go, Maria, let's open up the phones to see if anybody wants to call and ask Maria. Running from Precinct 1, I just need everybody to also know that I did send an email to the Rodney Ellis folks as well, just so that folks know that we follow the rules. 713-526-5738, 713-526-5738, 713-526-5738. Okay, folks, give us a call. We have Maria T. Jackson, who's running for Commissioner's Court, Precinct 1. And I just have to tell you that one of the reasons I definitely wanted to have Maria on the show here today is because, first of all, and for those of you that are listening nationally, what Maria is doing is occurring throughout counties, throughout the entire country. But you know what's most important? A lot of folks are starting to believe, yes, they can. Yes, they're willing to go ahead and try to try to make a difference in society. So again, if you want to call us and find out about Precinct 1, I didn't tell folks in the beginning I was taking calls. I'm sorry. 713-526-5738, 713-526-5738. If you also want to bring up any other subject, you can feel free. Now, Maria, how is your campaign going? Are you starting to raise funds, or is it slow? Is it fast? Is it?
I'm raising funds. It's very slow. Mm-hmm. it could be faster,
right?
But
it turns out that let's see. Line 1, come on in. You're on.
Hello.
Yes, you're on.
Yeah, I just have a question. I don't understand why Bernie Sanders opposes nuclear energy.
You don't know why Bernie Sanders opposes nuclear energy? Of course, we're talking another subject, but that's okay. I can tell you something about nuclear energy. He does not oppose nuclear energy in the classic sense. If at all somebody were to prove that nuclear energy could be done in a safe way where the decay of the atom doesn't take over 1,000,000 years, or it could be put away, it'll be fine. But right now he cares too much about you to just say willy-nilly, I want to use nuclear power. All right, my brother? Thank you so kindly.
I'm honestly more scared of warming than, for example, like worst case scenario, meltdown situation. I mean, they have the new technology that a meltdown is near impossible.
You know something? Let me tell you, there are new technologies. Meltdown is near impossible. You're absolutely correct about that. But before anybody talks about making that a technology that we would bet our life on, there are a lot of other technologies we can use right now that are safe. And if somebody finds a way to make that more efficient, we'll be more than happy to try that. All right, brother?
Okay.
Have a good one. Bye-bye. All right, line number 2. Just say hello, and because we don't have names right now, say hello.
Hello.
All right. You're talking. Talk to me. What's up?
So earlier you spoke about the mayors in Bloomberg. You said mayors across the country. Can you elaborate? I don't know what you're talking about.
Say that again. I put it this way. And first of all, we have a candidate in here, Maria Jackson, who is running for a Precinct 1, and
yes, I'm
she decided to jump off the bench and do something positive for society. We have a rich billionaire that decided that he was going to invest billions. Well, actually, he said up to $2 billion to get elected. Let me tell you something. And what then we know he has a history with that, snatch black and Latino kids, throw them up against the wall. He admitted we have done on stereo. Why would black mayors across the confounded country support a guy who did that? If that guy wanted to atone for his sins, wouldn't he have taken that $2 billion and said, I had maligned 695,000 young black and Latino men. Let me invest in black and Latino men the $2 billion and correct for my sins, given the riches that all of America has afforded me to have. Don't you think that would have been a better use of his money?
I think so.
Thank you so kindly, my brother.
Thank you. Have a good day. And good luck.
Thank you, brother.
To the
Maria T.
candidate.
Jackson,
thank you. Do you have a specific question you'd like to ask her?
No.
Okay,
I was listening.
Thank you very much, my friend. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
All right, let's see.
Yes,
go ahead.
What I've seen and what makes this so hard, this uphill battle, me running, is that it's too many people that have been choosing profit over people.
Yes.
And so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, running for Harris County Commissioner Precinct 1, because I choose people over profits.
Okay, bear with me, folks. All right, I think I got rid of that. Okay. I don't know what's going on there. There we go. Excellent. Now, Maria, that's an important statement. You choose people over profit. And the reason I think that is important is that a lot of folks aren't doing that. I mean, look at, again, like I said, we constantly have these guys throwing money and seeming to be successful. What's going on there, I wonder? Okay. I'm going to try to take another call and then we'll take that. All right. Caller says hi, and then we'll know who it is. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, this is Roberta.
Yeah, Roberta.
Yes, I wanted to make a comment.
Yeah,
I wanted to make a comment about Bloomberg.
Go ahead.
Yes. I was kind of appalled that we had celebrities here in Houston like Yolanda Adams and the mayor here endorsing this man. I'm a former New Yorker, and though I've not been victimized or I was not part of the stop and frisk, but yeah, just living there and walking the streets day in and day out, not day in and day out, it was just a possibility that I could have ended up on that, stop and frisk.
Yeah, it could have happened to you is what you're saying.
Yeah, it could have happened to me. So when I heard that our mayor, Sylvester, and Yolanda Adams and other celebrities, from the Houston area endorsed this man, I was like, what the heck is wrong with these folks?
Hey, Roberta, you have a lot of noise in the background, so I'm gonna answer you offline, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, sir. All right, he's right.
I agree.
It's money, but what we have to do with elections now is we really have to have the grassroots out there saying, first of all, I think a lot of the leaders who have sold themselves to Bloomberg, I honestly think they should pay the price, and the price that they should pay is nobody listens to them.
Absolutely.
Ignore. You don't have to harm somebody for doing wrong. You just have to make their wrong irrelevant.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
You don't listen, and you start watching that career politician's behavior as well.
Right.
And I just say the government belongs to we the people.
Right.
And it's time for us to take it back and start holding elected officials accountable. And don't just listen to what people say, the false rhetoric, because sometimes people are very charismatic and they can tell you anything. Watch their actions. That's what counts the most.
That is exactly right. Folks, we need to start doing exactly that. Okay. Whoa, let's try another one. Line 2, come on in. Just say hello and we'll talk.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
My question for your guest is, does her job entail any responsibility for overseeing nuclear waste disposal in Harris County?
Does your job require any disposal of nuclear waste in Harris County? I don't think we have nuclear waste in Harris County.
No, not that I'm aware of. I can research that and let you know.
This sounds like Johnny.
This is Johnny. Yeah, I'm calling because of the Republican guy who called in a few minutes ago trying to do a spin on positive nuclear energy, which is no such thing. But until we figure out a way to dispose of or neutralize nuclear waste,
Johnny,
we need to stick with our original plan that Bernie has to focus on green infrastructure, green renewable energy.
I'm totally with you on that. Yes, thank you.
And Johnny,
I don't want to sing that we have to stop driving vehicles right away.
Right.
Although if it was up to me, back in the 1970s, I would have had us starting to trail off of that and only allow commercial vehicles to use fossil fuels. That way we wouldn't be in a crisis we are in right now.
You know, it's funny because Reagan, Carter put the solar cells on the White House, and then Reagan came and, bravado, and he just went ahead and took it. It is such.
They're so vindictive.
But it's
I
not.
just can't stand them.
It's not only
I can't stand them any further than I can throw Hillary in a pantsuit.
Okay, stop it now, my brother. Hey, we talk later.
I'm trying to live up to the Bernie bro.
All right, John. Hey, Johnny.
By Pumas like
Johnny.
So-called comedian.
Johnny, do not be.
Miller.
Johnny, you are not a Bernie bro. We talk later, brother. All right.
There's no such thing.
There's no
Have a
such
good
thing.
day.
Have a good one. Bye bye. All right, let's go, guys. I don't have names, so I just have to say hello on whoever talks. Talk.
Hello.
Yes, talk to me.
Hey, turn down the radiator. So, I'm a big fan of Bernie. I'm wondering if your guest has been endorsed by the Bernie campaign.
Have you been endorsed by the Bernie campaign?
No, they did send me, what is that? A questionnaire.
A questionnaire, yeah.
But I was overwhelmed with all the questionnaires that I had to do, and it kind of got lost. So I love Bernie, and I love what he stands for, but no, I have not.
Well, I mean, you should seek the
endorsement from
endorsement. Yeah.
Anybody, any groups.
I'm sorry?
Have you gotten any endorsements from any groups or any particular politicians or newspapers?
Well, I received the endorsement from the Houston Black Firefighters. I received the endorsement from the Houston Realty Business Coalition, the Run Sister Run PAC, the Houston Police Officers Union, and several local community leaders.
Okay.
I'm not really seeking.
Have you gotten any endorsements from any progressives? Because so far you haven't named any progressive organization.
Well, I'm progressive, but I really haven't sought endorsements.
I want to state something. We do know something about Harris County in some of these races, and that is some of these races you won't get endorsement because we have a machine. Let's just be frank about that.
I don't have the money to pay for
we
a lot
have
of
a machine.
endorsements.
So this sounds like Tory.
The person running for Harris County District Attorney, Audia Jones, he's gotten the endorsement from the Bernie campaign, not the local, Our Revolution, Harris County, but, the national campaign.
Well, that's
that's a big deal.
And she's also, she's well funded as well. So I'm not well funded because I'm running against the establishment.
Yeah.
Well, do you think that has something to do with the Bernie campaign endorsing her being well funded?
No, but my race is different.
It's a county race.
Yes, it's a county race, and so
is Harris County District Attorney. I mean, you could. I mean, that you didn't seek that endorsement. I mean, that's it is what it is.
All right, Terry. Thank you very much. We talk a little bit later, brother.
All right.
All right. Okay, let's go to line numero uno.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to Miss Jackson.
Go ahead.
Am I waiting for her to talk?
Hi.
Hey, Miss Jackson, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm okay. What court you was in?
I was in the 339 Criminal District Court.
339 Criminal District Court?
Yes.
What's your plans for District D?
For District B?
D. You're running it for Lee Franco's seat, right?
Yes, which
Franco
encompasses.
Is your cousin?
Yes, he was my cousin. Yes, and he's deceased now.
Well, District D is in his precinct. What's your plans for District D?
Well, to help with the drainage and the flooding, District D help reduce the crime in District D and bring more economic development to District D, and to do that for all of Harris County Precinct 1. And bring businesses and prosperity. and bring education and invest in education and job training.
How do you feel about this thing that they're trying to take over with the HISD right now?
Oh, you're talking about with the state?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it makes me sad about what's happening with HISD. I also know that the person that I'm running against, he was a state senator, and the schools closed under his watch. He was actually over this. So I believe that when you start investing in education and investing in HISD and making sure that the money is appropriated properly, then you wouldn't have this issue, and that money should be dispersed equally and fairly. And so that's what I would do representing as county commissioner, precinct 1. I would make sure that we receive the proper money that we're supposed to and appropriate it in the right way. The federal government gave the county commissioners court $1.3 billion. They gave the city of Houston $1.3 billion. The city of Houston fixed 15 homes for Hurricane Harvey, and the county commissioners court didn't fix any. So that's one of the things that I would do. I would make sure that I'm transparent with our dollars, and I'm fiscally responsible with dollars, but I also believe in investing in programs.
Thank you very much, sir. I got to go to the other call. Okay, let's go to line 2. Say hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, sir. Would you like to ask a question? Hello?
Yes, I would.
Go ahead.
I've a question. I'm on now.
Yes, you're on.
Okay, my question, well, I don't have a question. I do have a comment. I do happen to live in the district that Miss Maria is running for the office in. And yes, there's a brand new bike park, brand new skateboards park here. There's not a library in the area. And that both of those facilities are not really for the constituents that live in this area. Most travel from a little bit farther out to use these facilities, and they are not for the people that live in this area. And I also have a comment on Mr. Bloomberg and his buying of people. I even heard someone on the station yesterday that sounded like they were bought for a turkey leg.
Okay, so let's let her answer the question about the skateboard.
So what I can just say, I can just reiterate and agree with you on your comment that we need more programs. We need more constituent programs. I was questioning. I said, why do we have to drive so far for good grocery stores? Why do we have to? I mean, I want affordable health care for us. And right now, the county hospitals have received 7 deficiencies. They're not compliant in major areas, which include nursing, laboratory services, infectious disease control, patient care, and there's 3 more, but I'd have to put on my glasses and actually read all of them. But I just say that we deserve better, and we deserve a public servant that wants to invest in the community and listen to you.
Okay, caller number 1, come on in. Say hello, and I'll know you're there.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Umberto. To Miss Davis, I really commend you for
I'm Jackson.
Miss Jackson.
I'm Maria T. Jackson.
Sorry, Miss Jackson. I commend you for stepping out and taking a stand for doing your part in making this country what it should be.
Thank you so much.
For coming off the sideline. We all should have the courage to do that. But my comment is not really regard to your election, because I think some of the callers answered some of my questions. Or you answered my questions through there. My take on it is, none of the candidates beat Trump. None of them. What it is we, the people, we have to take responsibility. Only the people can beat Trump. It's the people. We the people put him in, and it's going to take the people to take him out. But our problem in America now is we've turned our lives, our government, over to politicians. And it's nothing wrong with that. But now the politicians are calling the shots for us instead of us giving the shots for them to call. So It's like they decide what to do, when to do. They decide everything and do it. At least if they're going to be there, they should. Anything that come across there as a bill, it should be voted on, even if it has to go down to the local state.
No, Judge Jackson, is that what you one of the reasons you're running?
Yes, that's what I stand for. I am for the people. And as far as, do you remember when they wanted to raise our taxes?
Right.
And I believe that the people should vote on if our taxes should be raised. I believe that if we saw some programs or we saw our tax dollars working for us, and you saw some good school programs or senior programs or any other kind of valuable programs that were going on, I believe that you wouldn't mind paying your taxes because you would see your tax dollars working for you. But it's when you see in your tax dollars mismanaged and you don't see anything being fixed and it's just you getting crazy service. I almost said a bad word, but
no, that's right.
But I believe that the voters should decide to raise your taxes. It should be voted on.
Look, we only have a little bit more time, and I got a couple of calls. Thank you so kindly for calling, my friend. All right. Okay, let's go line 2. Come on in.
Hello?
Yes, come on in, sir.
Hey, Egberto, it's your brother.
Hey, talk to me, my brother. Which one of my brothers? You know I have a whole lot, man.
It's your brother, Daniel.
Hey, Daniel, talk to me.
I've been listening and I've been floored because I'm loving what you're saying about career politicians. You know, these politicians that are in for, 30 years.
Yes.
Never seem to get voted out.
Yes.
I'd like to hear your thoughts on Sheila Jackson Lee then.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be talking about Maria right now, but the reason I won't touch Sheila Jackson Lee in this particular conversation is because it's not the right time to discuss that particular issue. You guys know I'm very straightforward, but it's not the right time.
You're straightforward, Egbert. We know you try to be.
Yes.
You spent a lot of time today talking about these career politicians.
Yes.
And lambasting the concept that these people should not be in office this long.
No.
So it shouldn't be too hard.
No. Actually, no. Let me stop. I want to correct that because I think we were very clear, and Maria was the clearest of them all. When Maria said, if you have a politician in office for 30 years and you go outside and everything remains the same, there's no improvement, then you need change. So here's
Sheila Jackson Lee.
Let me finish.
Go look at her district, Egberto.
Daniel,
Sheila Jackson Lee.
My brother.
I know neither of you are going to disavow
her.
You
got to let me talk.
Apply the same standards you have for everybody else. You're not going to apply
Daniel,
to Sheila
did you say
Jackson
you're my
Lee.
brother?
I know you're not.
Daniel.
At least we know that you guys are hypocritical.
Daniel. Listen.
Okay. Let me answer Daniel this way, okay?
Okay.
People can talk. I know Sheila Jackson Lee, okay? And I remember going to the DNC, to the meeting. And I see Sheila Jackson Lee on camera all of the times. And one would tend to say, oh, wow, Sheila likes the camera, which because Sheila loves the camera. Mm-hmm. But then I went ahead and watched her with her constituents. Or the people that don't work for her don't particularly like her, but her constituents do. Her constituents do. So all I can talk about is what I've seen, and I can talk about what Maria says here. Maria says, if you go outside and things haven't changed for you, then there needs to be a change.
Yes.
Okay? And it's that simple. In her district, she works with TOPS and she works with all these other folks. I've been there to see her work with these organizations. So I am not going to make a blanket statement about bad politicians. I'm going to make a statement about bad politicians when it's warranted. Personally, I do not believe in term limits. I do not believe, I don't know whether you do or not, I never asked you that, but I don't believe in term limits. I think term limits are undemocratic. I do believe, though, that we have to find constraints to people who stay in power not because of what they're doing, but because of the finances that they have.
Yes.
Go ahead, Maria.
I would just amen to you,
know,
on that one.
But
yes.
I think it's important because the caller, my brother Daniel, what he wanted to do is he saw two of us on air. And he was going to use that to go ahead and say, okay, well, please go ahead and disparage this particular politician. I am not into disparaging. Your opponent is Rodney Ellis.
Yes.
Okay. Have I once? I didn't disparage Rodney Ellis on air.
You have not. I have.
Because
that's why I stepped down from the bench. I've seen up close. I mean, you can just research. You just research your politicians, and I'll just repeat what I said again. If you live in a district or live in a precinct, live in a state,
right,
and there's an elected official, a career politician that has been in office over 30 years, and you don't see an improvement, then it's time, if I were you, it's time to make a change.
Right.
And this is why I stepped off the bench, because this is my way of doing my part.
Exactly. Now, when it comes to, back to the caller as far as consistency and us talking about career politician, everybody who listens to my show know that I am actually a Bernie guy. Okay? And the thing about it is Bernie is probably the damn oldest politician serving for the longest time. And the fact that I don't say, oh, get out of there, is because I see the policies that he stands for.
Yes.
People first.
Yes.
What do you stand for, Maria?
People first.
You stand for people.
I
do. Absolutely anybody call themselves a politician or running or whatever that convinces me that they are people's first, they will always have my ear.
Yes.
Always. And the reason why, folks, is this. Okay, you can't play this stuff two different ways. Okay? You can't say there's a good politician that's been there for 50 years and you want to throw them out, and you have a bad politician for 2 years, and because he's not term limited, he stays. You can't. You have to be consistent in what you're talking about, and I think we're fairly consistent. I want to take this real quick. Whoever I'm talking to, we only have about 30 seconds. Come on in. You can speak.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Do you have time to get another call in?
30 seconds.
Jackson
30 seconds.
Okay. Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Yes. I'd like you to respond real quickly. I hear judges or persons running for judge or people that have been in a position of being a judge oftentimes stating that they are impartial. I'm a psychologist. I'll tell you that up front so you know there's full disclosure and
10 seconds.
I would like to know, how is it that anybody that grows up in any society, any culture, anywhere, could ever make a decision and it be perfectly impartial? Because we are the results of either our genetics and our environment.
She gets it, but I got to go.
I just would like you to respond to this.
Thank you,
How can anybody ever make a decision?
Go ahead and respond.
Well, I can't speak for everyone else, but that is what a judge's responsibility is to rule, listen to all the evidence, and apply the facts to the evidence.
Okay, Maria, we are out of time, so why don't you give us a quick closer as far as what you'd like the people to know about you in about 30 seconds.
Well, I want to thank you for having me on your show. I'm a huge fan of yours. You have no idea.
Thank you so kindly.
And then my mother loves the way you say my name. She heard you.
Okay.
And I just want to say that I'm a public servant, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to serve you. And thank you, Maria T. Jackson.
Commissioner's Court numero uno, number one.
Yes.
Folks, my name is Egberto Willis. This is Politics Done Right. Like I said, I generally, anybody who says they're for the people, that's who I am always going to have my ear for. My name is Egberto Willis. This is Politics Done Right. And you know how I end this, baby. I am what? Out!